Oh, Teddy, get out of it. Sorry, mate.
You're right.
Sorry about that. Get out of there, Teddy. Come here. Teddy, come here. Actually, can I just get you to stop there for a minute, mate, and I'll grab him. Come here, you little rat. You're a little rat bag. Gosh, the ground's wet today. Still a bit of dew around. It's a beautiful field out here. People are out and about. Hey Mano, thanks for joining us. Beautiful. It's beautiful. It's all about you. It's all about you. That beautiful tree. That's stunning. Basking in the sun. Beautiful. Just out here getting grounded in the field. Getting centred. Finding space in my own little bubble. It's a beautiful thing. A few other people around today enjoying themselves. Basking in the sun, getting some vitamin D, very important to boost our immune systems so we're strong on the inside. Little Teddy, you've got little Teddy with me today. We're out Teddy hunting. Hopefully he's going to be a good boy. How's the sound there, Mano? Yvette, thanks for tuning in. Is the sound alright? Can you hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up there and I'll give you a wave. Get you out in the field of energy. Because it's called a ground, isn't it? It's grounding. That's why it's called ground. It grounds you. And it's a sound foundation when you're on ground. So it sounds good being grounded. Getting rooted to the earth like the tree that speaks truth but says nothing. Alright, here we are. Got our bits and pieces ready for our cordial today. I'm not sure again what's going to come out because you just never know, do you? You never know what kind of dispelling we're going to be doing today. It's all the big unknown. There's lots of unknowns going on at the moment. Lots of unknowns. Thanks, Sue Gray. Hey, I went down to Fresh Choice looking for the Fresh Choice looking for the gathering, but I couldn't find anyone down there, so I'm not sure what happened there. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Carl. Come to the table. David, you guys hear me okay? Actually, I'm going to plug in my headphones. Just wait for a couple of people to arrive at the table because they're hungry for thought. Food for thought. Let's have some food for thought. It gives us something to think about then, doesn't it? We've been doing a lot of thinking lately, haven't we? It's good to think. Because if you don't mind, it won't matter. That's how it works, folks. So here we are. Again, I'm going to plug in me mic. Hopefully that allows you to hear me okay. Oh, wait a minute. I'll just hang the ears up. Where are we? Where are we? It's a good question, isn't it? Where are we? Often we don't know what we are or who we are or where we are. Where are we? Which calendar is it we're operating to? I'll put the water on there to hold me background down. So yeah, here we go. Back in the field, in balance. See that there? It's a sine wave. See that sine wave there? See how that works? A sine wave. There's signs in the waves. Because there's information in the waves and in light. You ever heard of spectroscopy? Spectroscopy is the measurement of light. Blue shift and red shift. Funny that, why it's blue and red. Why do we have blue shift and red shift? Well, it's interesting you asked that. I'm glad you asked that, actually. Because it's the left brain and the right brain. It's the red bloods and the blue bloods. It's the red and blue. Red and blue on police car sirens automatically puts our brains into a state of anxiety. All by design, of course. It's all by design. There is design in everything. We have to de-sign, don't we? Design, design. See, it's all in the words. Again, I'm going to keep reiterating this, folks. It's all in the words and in the language, and that's what's getting us all into trouble. And so what we're going to do, it's all in design, isn't it? We're going to de-sign the design. The sign, isn't it? And without the silent G, if we take the G out and it's silent, because that's silent, we don't say that. What have we got? Sin. Oh, why is it sin, Norm? Why are we sinners? Because we err. We err, don't we? We're in an error. Isn't this our error? And it's a timey. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing this. So we're in we're in an error. It's time, isn't it? Timey. Now the way we get out of all of this is to be as kings and queens. Kings and queens of our vessels, because we're all in a vessel, aren't we? A vessel? Vessel? There's our vessels. Oops, you can see I can't draw. Yeah, a vessel, it's supposed to be a boat. I'm doing a boat. Yeah. There's our vessels out on the high seas and stormy waters. We're in stormy waters at the moment, folks, and we're not quite navigating our ships accordingly. We're running into objects, and when a ship runs into objects, they get wrecked, don't they? They get shipwrecked, and that's what's happening. We're all getting shipwrecked because of the language, because of the signs and the symbols and the characters and the phonetics and the different layers of information that's being conveyed to you. And if you're only seeing it on one level, design, or like this one I gave you the other day, insight. We want to have insight, don't we? Because it means going inside, doesn't it? Insight. But you don't want to incite people, do you? You don't want to incite people, but sometimes when you go inside, it incites things, doesn't it? So I'm giving you a lesson. Is that less on? Why are you giving us less on, Norm? We want more. We all want more, don't we? Why am I giving less on? Well, I'm actually putting less on your plate, in actual fact. Because I'm enlightening you, yeah? You're becoming enlightened. We all want to be enlightened, don't we? We all want enlightenment. If I'm putting less on, you're becoming lighter, aren't you? Eh? Enlightened. That's what you're becoming. And if you're becoming enlightened, then there's less to carry. When you're becoming light-hearted, you can become more light-hearted. See how that works? That's how that works, folks. See, and we're all operating in laws and rules and regulations. Over here, they're all acts and statutes and legislation. Over there, that's pretty common, isn't it? Pretty common law. Common law of the land. You know why it's common? Because everyone knows it. Everyone knows not to hurt people. Everyone knows not to lie. Everyone knows not to deceive and be deceitful, because really all you're doing is deceiving yourself, aren't you? Ultimately. And we're running into a lot of deceit at the moment. A lot of lies and deceit. And so we need to ask questions, yeah? We need to be on a quest, folks. Eye on. Oh, we question. What do we do when we question? We quest, we search, we wander, don't we? Oh, I wonder. I wander here and I wander there. And I wonder about this and I wonder about that. What's that wonder? What's it wonder? Question. And then what are you doing when you're questioning, folks? You're as king, aren't you? You're as king. You're as king. You're being the king. But you don't want to be in war, do you? Because then you might be the king of war. You know, you might be walking. Was that working? Why is that an E sound? I don't know. It's O, isn't it? Why is that E work? And then when we say walk, it's an A. What's happening there? See, there's codes here, folks. There's code here, and there's code all around you. You have your drinking code, and your driving code, and your firearms code, and your code of conduct, don't you? You have all sorts of codes. You're all codified. So we need to get back to this one. Now again, I'm going to reiterate, I'm not a religious man, because religion means to bind, or legion means binding. Re, in the front of a word, as a prefix or a preposition, because its position is pre, meaning before, means to do again. So we don't want to be bound again, folks. We want to be masters of our own vessels, don't we? Of our own vessels. Hey, we want to be masters of our own vessels, don't we? Hey, master our ships and become captains and learn to navigate properly. See, another thing, the sirens. Did anyone look up the sirens? Yep, those are the ladies that distract the captains from their ships. Aren't they? The maidens, the mermaids, merchants. The merchants, again, were on the sea. The mermaids, the merlins, the casters of spells, to distract you. To dis is to undo again, and to tract, get you off your tracks. To distract you off your track. See that? And dis ya. We like to discuss, don't we? Sit round a table and we diss and we cuss. We diss and we cuss. What's dissing, folks? It's taking the piss out of things, isn't it? What's cussing, folks? It's swearing. Don't all those religious folks swear on that thing? Don't they swear on it? And that's what they do, isn't it? And swear. Eh? They swear. See how that works? See what I'm doing here? This is de-spelling. This is de-spelling, because it's all spelling, isn't it? Spells, folks. They're telling you right in front of your face. Oh, that's a D. To de-spell. They're telling you it's code. You have to start decoding, which means de-spelling, which means learning about learning. Oh, to learn. What's to learn, Norm? Oh, it's to earn something, folks. It's a lesson, and earning is learning. That's what it is. And that is to each in their own, isn't it? It's to each in their own. How you learn, how you earn. Oh no, it's an E. Earn, is it? Earn. Earn's the thing you put dead ashes in, isn't it? And we wage. Don't we wage? We get a wage. Oh, wait a minute, what's going on there, Norm? You go to your job, the legal definition, well, not the legal definition, the Hebrew definition of the word job is to persecute. And you're in employment, aren't you? You like your employment. What's meant, people? It means mind. What's ploy, people? Oh, that means deceit, Norm. What's people? And as a preposition. See, its position is pre. It's before. That means for, Norm. That's what that means. For deceit of your mind. You love your employment, don't you, folks? You love them. Love those chains. Love the chains that bind. Because it's all binding, isn't it? When you're binding, after it's been bind, it's bound, isn't it? It's bound, folks. What's it bound for? What's it binding, eh? Maybe it's binding the blind. Maybe the blind are bound. See how that works? It's all framed. See, it's all framed. See how the frame puts it all around a box? It's all boxed in. See that? See how that works? See, these are all below threshold signals and signs. The nature of the signs, folks. We want to be natural, don't we, with our sign? Hey? We want to be the nature of your sign. In the old days, folks, people didn't know how to write, and they used to leave their mark. Their mark was an X. Because X marks the spot, doesn't it? X marks the spot. Oh, you cross. Does that mean you cross? No, there's treasure there. Because treasure's always X marks the treasure on the map, doesn't it? And then you'll want to be in line too, don't you? You like your lines, and you want to be above board, so you sign on the line. So that's what you do. But you're writing, your right is spelling. And when you join the letters, because we let, don't it, when we let, letters to rent, rent is painful, folks. And actually, you like this? It's actually torture. Because once you know something, you're taught, aren't you? And then you're civil. And then you can have a civil taught. Ah, yeah, I've been taught. Because it's torture. It's shh. Cool. See how that works? And it's gradual. Grad. To graduate. Gradual indoctrination. And dock. Oh, we're back in the dock again. We're back on the seas in our vessels, are we? Indoctrination. Try a nation, folks. You're all bent over, you see. Arr, so you're going, arr! You stand up and get on your feet. See, that works? And it works. It works on you every single day. You want to speak in tongues? All those religious people talk about speaking in tongues. You already are speaking in tongues, folks. You're speaking in spellings. You're all magicians. You're all religious because there's heaps of gods in there. Let's have a look if we can find some gods, can we? Have you written down any gods yet? Right, D, sign, bound. Siren, sire, sir, sir. We haven't found any gods here yet, but we will. Employment, because there's lots of gods here. Because it sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds good. There's king, working, king. And you worship too, don't you? You worship your ship. You like to be the king of your ship. Your vessel, your vassal. Where are we? Where are we? We're still trying to figure that one out. Oh, figures. Oh, yeah, figures. That figures because it's a numbers game. Well, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, dollars and cents. Oh, there's numbers again. It's all starting to add up, Norm. It's starting to add up, I do believe. What's that one? Oh, have I turned it round? Oh, I've turned it round. You're looking at me ugly mug. Sorry about that, guys. Where are we? Turn that round there, is it? Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. You're looking at me. It's not about me. It's all about you, isn't it? It's all about you. I'll show you that later. So statism is the brilliant idea that we give a small group of people the right to kidnap, steal from us, and kill us, so that we can be protected from people who might kidnap, steal, and kill us. It's not quite sitting right with me, that. Statism. You're all on a state too, aren't you? Oh, you're all on a state. You're all on a bit of a... Oh, see, I was feeling a bit bored at home. I've got a whiteboard. It's not a blackboard. I don't want to off-end anybody. I'd hate to off-end people with words. Because, you know, when I say something to you, when I say any words to you, when I'm speaking, you know, I'm speaking. I'm at the peak. I'm speaking. I'm as king. We live under a rain, don't we? QE2. Oh, E. Question everything twice, mate. That's what that is. Question everything twice. queens and kings we are. Hey, we want to create our own kingdom, the dome, don't we? The dome, the dominion of our kingship. Kingdom ship. Ships are everywhere, folks. You have a relationship. Oh, you're all on board then. You're all sailors. Oh, matey. What kind of ship are we on, I wonder? Might be a pirate ship. Could be a pirate ship. Is yours a warship? There's a tug. Oh, I can't take your call at the moment, bro. Calling. I've heard the calling. That was a sound. Oh, there's message and sound, isn't there? The beginning was the word, wasn't there, folks? Hey, listen, I'm going to reiterate again. I'm not a religious man. I'm not into religion. I don't like it. I don't like it because it boxes you in. It boxes you in. As soon as someone says, oh, I'm Christian. Well, so anyone that's not, what does that mean? Well, what do you mean? Are they not? Hey? Are they not a good person because they're not Christian? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, folks. See, in these words, they'll box you in. They'll book you. They book you, don't they? They book you. You've been booked. The two worlds we can operate in, folks. You can operate in rules, regulations, legislature, acts. They're acting, folks. They're telling you again in front of your face. It's acts and statutes. What do statues do, folks? They don't move, do they? They don't move until you put pen to paper. Paper's called stationery. It doesn't move either, does it? Oh, not until you put some ink on it. And that takes a bit of mental machinations, doesn't it? Takes a bit of insight, going in, thinking, contemplating, actually. Oh, there's a beautiful word. Let's go there. Don't. Actually, con, I've told you about con before. Con is an interesting one, actually. It can actually have, everything's got two sides, isn't it? Like my board's got a front and a back. Left side, right side, upside, inside, outside. Everything's got sides. It depends what your view is, where you're standing and where you're looking from. Eh? You. Actually, I should just put you there, shouldn't I? Yeah, you. It's all about you, folks. But you got to get a handle on you, don't you? Then you got a cup. Then you're back in the vessel. Because cups are vessels, aren't they? They hold liquid. Oh, there's value. Liquid. It's liquidity, isn't it? Let's write those words down again. Actually, we have to assess things by value, cost, and worth. These are the three things. You know, is it worth it? What's it going to cost you? What's the value of doing it? These are the three things you need to, and it's triune. See, there's three of them. See how there's three of them there, folks? Very interesting, the triune. I, me, my, isn't it? Triunes. You're on the runes. People are out there in the runes, aren't they? They're telling, aren't they? They tell you something. They give you a message. Don't they? Triunes. Yeah, this is interesting. I'll give you the structure of the legal thing. You have the, what do they have up here? They have the administrator. Administrator, because he's a minister. He's in the church. He's ministering. You all have ministers. You all go and vote for your minister, don't you? See, you're all religious. You lot out there, you're all bloody religious. Hey? You sit there and you diss and you cuss and you con each other in verse, challenge each other. Yeah. It's competition, isn't it? Compete. Where were we? Actually, I want to have a look at who's in there and just see what's see if there's any comments from the community mentality. Excuse me. So what have we got here? Who got here? Who's at the table today? Who's hungry for thought? Who wants food for thought today? David, Carl. Hey, David, how are you, bud? I'll come over and have a yak with you later. Bevan, nice to meet you. Tim, how are you, matey? Hope you're doing well, man. John Allen, Stuart Davidson, Peter Bowes, Carmen, Sid. Hey, nice to see you tuning in, Sid. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Because your ear, see your ear? It's all about your ear. You've got two ears, one mouth. That means listen twice and speak once. It's pretty simple. That's the message there. Well, that's what I get anyway. You might have a different mess at your age. Hey, you might have a different message. It's a messy age. Yeah, it's an era. See, it's an era. We're in 21st era, aren't we? Oh, is that a mistake? A mistake. Oh, it might be a mistake. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll just finish this one off. So you go, the administrator, because he's a minister. You all like your ministers. You're all religious. You go and vote for them. You must be religious. Otherwise, you wouldn't be voting for a minister, would you? See, and I'm out here in the field. But it's a level field too. So it's plain. It's a plain field. See that? It's a plain field. But we're all level. And we want to be on the same level, don't we? We all like to be on the same page. Remember the pages? The king sent the pages out, didn't he? He sent them out to the north, the east, the west, and the south. And so that they could bring back the information on the pages. And that's how we get the news, folks, because he would send them out to the boundaries of his kingdom, his dominion, his domain. Was he dominant? Oh, was he dominant in his domain, in his dominion? Maybe it diminished. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it diminished with time. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Tim. I'm here to try and educate people, but I'm a selfish bastard. Because while everyone around me is ignorant and not being able to see and hasn't got their eyes open, it's causing me disharmony. And I'm concerned about that. You've all heard of CERN, haven't you? It's a con too, isn't it? So we're operating with our feet in two worlds, folks. The world of the living and the world of the dead. Now, I don't mean to sound religious, and I don't mean to use religious words, and I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, actually. I'm really sorry, because usually my intention, the intents that I'm on, are honourable. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Here we go. You'll like this one. Ours. Honourable. O-U-R. It's our honour. Our honour, isn't it? It's our honour. See that? See, if you start despelling the words and stop the cursiveness of it all, you'll start to find another level of vibration that's operating in these messages. Because it's a mess, isn't it? It's a mess. What a mess. You're a messy bugger, Norm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not perfect, mate. I'm far from it. Don't anyone ever try and put me on a pedestal either. If you do that, I'm going to fall on you hard. You stop that shit. You don't idolise. Isn't it in that book there? You don't want idols, do you? You don't want idols, but you all love, I don't know, whoever it is, Kardashians, are they all your idols? Or Tom Hanks, or whoever it is, whatever actor out there it is you idolise, you know, it's idolatry, isn't it? I don't they call that idolatry? Oh, wait a minute. Is that what that is? Is that what's going on there? But idolatry. So we need to, actually I'll show you something while I'm here. This is New Zealand Butterworth Law Dictionary, of course, 7th edition, Spiler, LexisNexis. You can go and order one, because this is a book of law. Here, let me show you one law, folks. You'll like this one. So when a cop pulls you over, you can claim this. Go claim this. You want to claim something? Oh, you've got a gold claim. Ah, that sounds valuable. What state are we in? Oh, it's a sovereign state. That's what I want to be, doesn't it? Sovereign state. Ah, sovereign state, PQRS. Where are we? Here's a good one for you. Claim this one, folks. It's called privilege against self-incrimination. It's the common law right of a person not to answer questions or produce material that may tend to incriminate the person of a criminal offence or expose the person to a civil penalty. But wait, there's more. A law enforcement officer is entitled to ask you questions relating to the citizen's identity and otherwise, but the citizen is entitled to refuse to give the information. Do you see? Look, that's your law. How about we exercise that right, folks? The privilege against self-incrimination. So how do I incriminate myself, Norm? How do I become a criminal? Because it's criminating, isn't it? It's a crime, isn't it? That's telling you in the word, I do believe. That's what I see anyway. I don't know what you see. Do you see what I see? So there's laws out there, folks. And there's no excuse for the law, is there? Isn't it? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Why, folks? How can that be? I mean, lawyers have to go to university for 6 years or whatever it is, tie me up. They tie you up for 6 years or whatever it is, and you come out with your graduation. You graduate, so you've been gradually indoctrinated. Gradual indoctrination, that's where that word comes from. So you've been gradually indoctrinated into the law, and you come out and you can start your own practice. What? What? You're only practicing? Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Why are you only practicing? Why do you not know it? You should know it. Everyone knows it. We're told ignorance of the law is no excuse. That's what we're told. That's very telling, isn't it? That's very telling when we're told that. Maybe we've been told it's in the past, and it's too old. Oh, it's a bit old. Maybe it's old thinking. The T's the head. So you go into the different letters. ABC, there's your triune. Ab C. Why is it not? A, B in the front of words is not. I'm abnormal, aren't I? I am. I'm very happy to be abnormal. Excuse me. I'll give a wave. Who's there? Jen? Tim's still there? Cool. Guys all hanging in there. Not getting bored, are you? Are you getting bored yet? Are you bored? Might be starting to get full. Hey, you guys, you know, I'm giving you lots of information. I give you information so that you're in formation. And then you can be uniform. But you don't want a blue uniform. You know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to hook you into any contracts. Because you ask mums about contracts and contractions, and they'll tell you they're painful. So you've got to know the T's and C's, don't you? You've got to know all the T's and C's, folks. What are the T's and C's, Norm? What are the terms and conditions? No, it's not terms and conditions, folks. Well, it is terms and conditions, but it's kind of, it emanates in tracking, there's your king, and control. The con's controlling you. You see what's happening? It's tracking and control. It's not terms and conditions, folks. It's tracking and control. And they're telling you exactly what they're doing to you. Exactly what they're doing to you. Actually, I'll show you how that works too. Here's the term. Go and look it up. Go and look it up. Prove me wrong. I'd love to be wrong. Oh, shivers, do I not bring that one? Oh, here we go. Might be under here. He's getting bored yet? See, that's how it is, folks. For me, it's pretty simple. For me, I'm a simple guy. I'm really fucking simple. You could call me stupid if you want to. That's okay, it doesn't worry me. I can't control how you see me. I can't do that. I've got no control over you lot. How can I control you lot? All I can do is control myself. I can continuously troll my own insights. We all know knowledge is power. It's the wee knoll, isn't it? Now's the knoll, and he's on the edge. Who's the knoll on the edge? What's a knoll? It's a wee hill, isn't it? Gives you standing. You can stand up on a knoll, and you can see the edge of things. So it gives you a view, doesn't it? I'll show you how this works. Where were we? This works like this, folks. Again, I'm going to keep reiterating this because it's just like advertising. You sit there in front of your TV programs, watching those programs, downloading all those programs, and they'll repeat the same stuff over and over again because they know it's repetitive. To learn is to be repetitive, to go over things again and again. Caveat emptor, folks, means buyer beware, okay? So buyer beware. So if I'm selling you lemons and you think they're oranges and you get a sour taste in your mouth, don't come back to me. You bought the lemons. Another way we can put that is, let those that be deceived, folks. It's Latin. It's Latin. Your language is made up of all sorts of different codes. Latin code. See that? God. You mention that word, man, you can get all sorts of fiery reaction. And it's not about me. As soon as someone reacts to that word, they're exposing themselves, not me. Do you understand? Do you stand under? Hey, there's another thing too I need to clarify. There are certain things you want to understand, okay? I told you about the origins of the word understand. And so there are certain things that you do want to understand, believe me. But there's certain things that you don't want to understand. Do you understand? Oh, it is religion. Come on, circa 1200, C's and dictionary. See, these are all codes again. They'll give you hints of other information out there on your quest, on your questions. And if you question everything, I mean everything, you know, if you question everything, then you are as king, and you are the captain of your ship, and you can define things for yourself, and that's fine, because then you have definition, don't you? It's good to have definition of things and define things. That's what I like to do. I like to define things. And these aren't my these aren't my learnings. Oh, sure, I've earned them and I've mined them because it mattered to me, so I mined. If you don't mind, remember that? If you don't mind, it won't matter. The in. That's about going in. Again, you can start looking at these words and see, that's melody. M is melody. And when you don't have melody, you get sick, don't you? You know, you're sick. So if you're in the wrong melody, you know, it doesn't sound too good, does it? It doesn't sound so good. So you're not having good grounding. You're not on terra firma. Is it firm? Oh, it's firm. Yeah, it's grounding. That's right. That's why you have healing and a soul on your foot. See, that's right. You have a healing and the soul of your foot. It's telling you go out and get grounded, folks. No, what do you put on your feet? Shoe. Shoe. A shoe, don't we? Shoe. Sorry, I make myself laugh sometimes. Excuse me. Actually, no, often. Often I make myself laugh. It's good to have a laugh. Hey, it's good to have a laugh. Got to have a laugh, folks, because it's funny. It's pretty funny in the end, really. Because it's a happy ending, isn't it? It's funny in the end because it's a happy ending. Because we've all had those fairy tales, haven't they? Oh, the old fairy tales. The old fairy tales. Ain't tales about the fairies, is it? Oh, that's just folklore. That's why I always call you guys folks. Hey, folks. Why, Norm? Why do you call us folks? Because it's about your law. That's the folks' law, isn't it? The folklore. Oh, what's the folklore, Norm? Legends. Stories. Stories, folks. Stories and legends. And there's lots of them. There's lots of stories about kings. About the kings. Isn't there? The pharaohs. Actually, I'm not 100% certain of this one, but I'm pretty sure pharaohs actually represented the females. I don't know how that worked, but it's all about the language and deciphering it, because all ciphers, these are all ciphers, aren't they? They're all decipherable. It's all decipherable. Oh, Teddy, sit down. You know him. Okay, so caveat emptor. People, let the buyer beware. So you need to question everything twice. QE2, we're in the reign of QE2, aren't we? See, we're talking about laws, the law of the land, and the common law. Why is it common? It's common to the folks. It's the folks' law. And it's common to the area that those folks live in. So it's common to the area. It's community law. What's the common law, Norm? Hey, and again, I'm getting back to no excuse of the law. Why is it that we're expected to know all the laws and yet, you have to go to universities? It's because they're pretty simple. They're common to everybody. They're inherent. This is a lovely word. You'll like this word. It's in here. Into. Hey? It's in here. Where's here? That's where there is. Hey? That's where it is. And so it's pretty easy. And we know these things. Don't steal, don't kill, don't steal, and don't deceive. I actually bring it down to that one. That bottom one for me, that's all there is. Don't deceive. That's pretty easy. And that includes yourself too. Don't deceive yourself. Self-deception is the worst kind of deception, because then you'll project that onto others. Oh, there you go. See, it takes lawyers 8 years to learn the law. How can we trust a cop to learn it in 6 months? It's got to make you think, doesn't it? You've got to think about these things, don't you? Oh, we're all revolting, aren't they? What's the first line of defence of the authors of the writ? See that word? The author writ. Remember your rights? I had it up here before. Oh, you're right. The author. You want to be the author, don't you? You want to be the author of your book and your rights, don't you? So you're the authority. You can be the authority and the king of your ship. And look, these guys, you know, underneath all this facade, they're human. There's a human being in there, and he's just as confused as everybody else, mate. He's been conned by the fuse. The fuse has been fused, you know, fusion. Fusion is to bring things together, isn't it? Hey? But it's been conned, folks. You've been conned. You've been used and conned. And it's been fused because you believe it. You leave it, don't you? What do you leave? What are you leaving? You're lying, you're leaving, getting away from the trunk, from the centre. You're confused. Oh, yeah, there for those, I'll show you that one. You can have a look at that. You guys can stop this anytime you want and just read these. You know, what's the definition of a road, folks? It's a place to which the public have access. Roads are also described as waterways. And this is why we travel in lanes and islands. And we ship things across the land, don't we? There's no sea in between Greymouth and Christchurch, yet we ship things. Why is that? Because we're on commerce. We're operating in a commercial nature. And it's not our true nature. License. Go and look up the word license, folks. The base word of the word license is licentious. Actually, I've got it here somewhere, I think. It's licentious. It means to lie. It means to be unlawful, folks. That's what it means. And you know about democracy? Well, the best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter, said Sir Winston Churchill. See, I never said that. I've just looked into what other people have done. So I've researched. I search. And, yeah. And it's all out there. It's all in front of your face. It's caveat emptor, mofos. Caveat emptor. Buyer beware. Let those that be deceived be deceived. And that's all it is, you know. I Magi Nation. See that? I Magi, the magic of the nation. And that's why, that's what I was going to do yesterday. I'll finish off on that, actually. I'll do that one what I did yesterday. Because I started it and I didn't finish it for you. And I hate to leave loose ends. Because when you've got loose ends, that means there's strings attached, eh? Where were we? Media. Yeah, let's talk about the media, shall we? Where you guys all get all your information from. So you're all information. And then you're all informed. You think, unfortunately, you've been misinformed. But that's another story again, isn't it? Where was I? Oh, media. That's right, the media. We love the media, don't we? Because they give us all that entertainment, don't they? They enter to attain your mind. See how that works? Enter to attain your mind, folks. They've taken over your mind. But you don't mind, do you? You don't mind because you don't matter. You don't matter, do you? You don't care. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect me. Sure. Are you sure about that? You want to be sure, don't you? Because then we're back on the land. Hey, you want to be sure about that? Do you want to become a surety? A surety? Are you becoming a surety for something? When you sign your name over here, you sign above board. Remember we had love in cursive language? Being cursive. We're swearing again. And see, when you sign a form, it's boxed. Anything that's boxed is not on the page. That's your grammar. That's your gram. Remember, gram is to weigh and to mar is to confuse. And we have grammar all through our language, don't we? Because it's languishing. The language is languishing. Do you see? Do you see how that works? Ah, do you see? S's. Yeah. I'm not going to go into the individual characters of letters because the kōrero is just way too in-depth. And it's unfathomable for most. Because when you're in water and it's unfathomable, isn't it? Fathoms. We like to fathom things, don't we? Oh, it's unfathomed. It's voluminous. This is lovely. Voluminous. Oh, it's got volume. The volume in us. Where is it? Here's the volume in us. It's voluminous. It's unfathomable. You're Abel, aren't you? I told you about Cain and Abel. That Cain killed Abel, and he was dead. So Cain was disabled. And that's why when you're disabled, you need a cane. Just all makes sense, doesn't it? Just all makes sense. Hey, that has value. Give you a bit of a laugh. What does it cost? Nothing. Just a bit of listening. Is it worth something? Yeah, it was worth it. See, that's how you evaluate things. That's how we affirm things. That's how we shore things up, don't we? We shore things up. Surety. When you sign your name, they ask you for your surname, don't they? Why is it not SIR? Or family name. They ask you for your surname. It's because you become a surety for something. And you sign. You put your X on the spot. You put your mark. And you signed as a signatory to the surety of terms and conditions. Oh, they've gone. Which is really just more tracking and control. Do you see? Okay, this is all done by the media too, folks. The Medea. What's Medea, Norm? Let me tell you about Medea. Again, this is all phonics. The Phoenicians. The Phoenicians. The seafaring race, weren't they? Getting us all back on board the ship. To own. We want to own our ship, don't we? We want to own our ships, folks. Ownership. We don't want to be copyrighted, do we? We don't want to be copyrighted by anybody. Because that might infer that there's someone else involved there. Do you see that? It's phony. You have a phone, don't you? I'm talking to you on a phony at the moment. Why is it phony? Because it's not real. You're not here with me. I'm just sitting here talking to myself, an actual factual. I'm primarily out here on my own, and I'm ministering to myself. So, folks, I'm the Prime Minister. Do you get that? That's how that works. I like that. I like that. Media. Okay, another way we do spelling of that is Medea. It's Medea. Where was Medea, folks? Oh, that was in the Middle East there somewhere, wasn't it, Norm? Yes, it was. Do you know what Medea was? Medea was a place where all the wizards and the... I never liked the word witch. Which one? Which one are you? The wizards, the sorcerers, the soothsayers. Ah, the soothsayers. That's interesting, Norm. What's that? I'll leave that one with you, actually. Wizards, sorcerers, soothsayers, magicians, the magi. The magi nation. I can magic the nation. So the magicians. Now all these guys hung out. Oracles. Oracles is another one, folks. Beautiful words. So the oracles and the wizards and the sorcerers and the soothsayers and the magicians and the prophets. Ah, they're also prophets, weren't they? Prophet. Is that prophet as in money profit? P-R-O-P-H-I-T, is it? Prophet. I'll just spell it with a F. Doesn't matter, does it? Does it matter? Oh, it doesn't matter if you don't mind. But it changes the whole vibration here, if you understand what's going on. About the wards and the dens they put you in. Warden, oh, he's a warden. Wardens usually ranting about something, aren't they? They rant about war. And they send you a warrant, don't they? They ask you to get a warrant. Oh, please come and apply. Do you know what the word apply means, folks? Apply means to beg. That's what the legal definition of apply means, to beg. And they tell you you can't beg. They actually tell you, please don't beg. You know how they tell you that? They call you the applicant. Do they tell you? They tell you right there, you can't apply because they'll be begging for something you already have the right to do. You're begging for something you already have the right to do, folks. lovely folks in community in the common law. Pretty simple stuff. So Medea. Let's get into Medea, eh? Medea. So the kings of other areas, they want to know, oh, should I go invade the neighbours and steal all their valuables? Should I do that? And the soothsayer would say, oh, no, don't do that. The king would say, oh, should I grow corn this year? Or should I grow barley? She said, oh, we should buy barley. So Medea was the place where the kings would send their pages to go and find out information, or the oracles, to try and determine the best moves in their forwardness, in the wards of their forehead. You know, my forehead. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to do too. I'll just finish that one. Contemplate. We need to contemplate this, folks. Contemplate. Temples. Temples on the side of your head, aren't they? Like temples. There's your temples, folks. Left brain, right brain. Left brain, right brain. That's why it's red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue shift. Sirens distract you, don't they, when you're in your vessel, on the common ways of the land, travelling. You're a traveller. Not a driver, because a driver, the legal definition of the word driving, is someone who's partaking in commerce on the roads. So you're not driving, you never drive a car, and you don't have passengers in your car either. Because what do passengers do? Oh, they pay tickets, Norm. Yeah, they pay tickets, don't they, to get on board. Oh, they do too. Train ticket, passenger. Hey, you don't have passengers in your autonomous mobility device. You have guests. They are your guests, and you're travelling, as is your right, because you have the freedom of right to movement. Article 14, I think it is, in your United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. They're yours, folks. Guess we better start exercising those muscles, eh? That's a good idea. Righto, Medea. Idea. There's Medea in there. There's an idea in there somewhere, folks. I'm sure there is. Yes, there is. I can see it. You see that? So Medea was a place where the kings and anyone who wanted to figure out what they need to do in the next now, they would go to Medea. And in Medea, again, as I say, we're all the magicians. Now, if you go to a good magic show, folks, excuse me there, the idea of the magician is to get you looking over here, while the real sleight of hand, they call that, is going on over here. See that? You see how that works? So the media. And the Magi, now the Magi always had a staff, didn't they? Or a wand. They called it a wand, didn't they? I have my staff. Here's my staff. They don't work for me, but it works quite well for me. There's my staff. Very simple. I'm a bit short-staffed today. But anyway. Can you... Cheers. Sorry, if... Come here. Good boy. Come here. Good boy. We got interrupted. Inter is in between. Ruption. Ooh, there's an eruption going on. Ruptured. You know what's been ruptured? The bank. The bankrupt. You've been bankrupted, folks. Your vessel's been bankrupt. Anyway, Magi. Where are we again? Here, Magi. Oh, yeah, they always had a staff and a wand. Yeah, they always wand. They always have a little pointy stick or a wand or a staff, or it's got all sorts of interesting names, actually, those things. I do believe it's Antiquitech, but that's another story. Excuse me. So we're in media. Kings send these pages over there to find out what's going on and get some information back and decide what he's going to do in the future. And the Magi always have a wand or a stick, don't they? That stick was made of the wood of the holly tree. That was made of the wood of the holly tree, folks. It was Hollywood from Medea. And you'll say, oh my God. I thought you guys weren't religious.
Distraction.
Yes, a distraction. So yeah, the magician's stick or wood was made from the holly tree. I'm not sure why. There's something something in there somewhere. Maybe it's holy. It's something to do with the holy side of things. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm still learning. I've got lots to learn. I love learning. It expands my vision. That's what it does. Lifts you higher on the rung of the ladder so you can see farther. And you can become farther. Able to see farther. Okay, so the oracles, wizards, sorcerers, soothsayers, the magicians has their Hollywood, don't they? And Hollywood is all about entertainment, isn't it? It's to enter, to attain your mind, folks, and that's what it does. Well, that's what you allow it to do, I should say. It is just it. How you perceive or take on or accept anything outside of yourself is up to you. But remember, caveat emptor, mofos. Question everything twice, because you're being lied to, folks, heavily, on so many levels. Do you see? So right, I might just have a look at who's in here still. So that's all about your media. So that's what your media is doing, folks. They're the magicians. They're the ones to distract you, the ones to take you away, like the sirens, to distract you from your path, so you're no longer able to navigate your ships. You lose your compass. It's encompassing. So yeah. Yeah, that was what my workshops were called, Path to Freedom. Yeah. So this is it, mate. It's all about you guys and picking yourselves up, being more alert, being more aware, being awake. And that takes work. That's why it's learning, because it's lessons that are earned. You got to learn them, got to earn them, and that takes a bit of mining. You got to fossick around a little bit. I'm a gold miner. I like mining for gold, or to find the golden things, because gold's AU, isn't it, on the periodic table? It's all about you. You are the gold. You are the value, because it costs something, because you had to mine for it. So how much you had to dig is how much value it has to you, and how much worth it has to you. So you might have your grandfather's or grandmother's ring on your finger, and that's worth a lot to you, isn't it? Not worth much to me. I mean, the value of it's probably gold and diamonds. It's probably a couple of grand's worth, isn't it? It's got no value to me. It hasn't cost me anything. You see how that works? So you've got to evaluate. Again, we're back to figures because of value. You've got to evaluate things through cost, value, and worth. What's it cost? What's it worth? And what's the value of it? And the cost and the worth of the value of things that are going on at the moment are way too costly. They're too expensive, folks. At your expense. And it's not in your interest either. You're not gaining interest on the worth, the value, and the cost of what's going on at the moment. It's not in our interest. It's always in the interest of the banks. Remember the banks, folks, where we find the banks? We find the banks on the sides of the rivers. I'm going to go over it again because you all have to have information punched into you like a computer. And it takes 2 or 3 times for that to happen. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do this a few times with you because you need to overstand and understand, and then you'll have inner standing. And then you'll be able to act. And actions and our words are our choices. These choices determine our lives. See, mind control and surveillance, folks, it won't be this obvious. And mind you, it might be good in today's age. Where are we? Where are you? I'll leave you with the rivers on the banks. I'll leave you on the banks of the rivers, shall I? Here we go, folks. Where do you find, and this is valuable, because this is costing you, and it's worthwhile that you take note, because notes are money, remember? And it all makes sense. You get it? So here we have banks. Where do you find banks, folks? On the sides of the river. What do the banks on the sides of the river do, Norm? They control the currents to the sea. Do you see what's going on? Banks control the currency, folks, and they've banked you in. And they're about to be ruptured on top of you, actually, because this is what I think this COVID stuff's all about. I think we're on the verge of a massive global financial collapse and reset. And this is what's going on. So there you are. I'm going to have to leave you to it. My dogs are going crazy on people out there. So I'm going to leave you to it. Love and light to you all. Any questions, any suggestions, any criticisms? I can take criticism, folks, like water for duck back to me, because I know the words. I can dispel anything. I can dispel it. I just dispel it. It's quite simple, really. It's really simple stuff. So we've got our foot in two worlds, folks. We've got our foot in the world of the dead and our foot in the world of the living. We're mostly over here. We need to get over here. We need to get a stable table, not a con stable, okay? So help yourselves. Help me. You do that by raising your own levels. And then you're my eyes and you're my ears. And then I'm multifaceted again like a diamond caught in the rough. Okay, folks, love and light. The dog's going crazy. I'm going to have to go and rescue him. See you later. Love yous all. Chime in. Share me videos. Share this information. It's not mine. It's not yours. Pass it on. Don't be passing on yourselves. Just pass it on. Because it's to be shared. You're only so long in this particular plane, in this particular field. Yeah, he's mine. Teddy, come over here. Good boy, come on. Righto, folks, leave you with that. Love and light. Chirp.